Welcome to the Week 2 recording for Green Design and Technology. You can see that Week 2 goes from April 8th to 15th. And as I said before, I start my weeks on Monday and they end on the following Sunday. So actually that should be the 8th through the 14th, so I'll get that fixed. But anyway, the best thing would be to get your work done by Friday. So that would be the 12th or something. So get it done early so you don't have to worry about it anymore. So here we are. So Week 2. And if we look at Week 2, we're not getting into the content for the course yet. Week 2, I still want you're going to go through what's called the Course Overview Writeup. You're going to watch a Course Overview presentation, and that's going to help you set your computer up properly so the course will go better for you. As you go through the presentation, you'll create a course folder, set up file extensions, make sure you have a zipping program, and some other things. Now the overview, this presentation is different from this recording that I'm doing. The presentation is actually part of the course that K-12 has created for you. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into that. So I'm going to scroll down. So right in here, Course Overview Presentation, Course Overview Write-Up. So Course Overview Presentation. Here we go. So you see what we're going to do is we're going to go through this presentation. We'll just hit these arrows, and what this will do, this will help you see how these presentations work, because these types of presentations are used in all sections of this class. Like if I go to Section 1 and click on the Section 1 presentation right there, you see how that is a presentation that goes, you just hit the arrows and you move through it. Every section of the course has those. So by going through this one right that we'll do now, the course overview presentation, you'll know how these presentations operate. Of course, the first thing you want to do, and you'll do this for each week, is we want to look at the course overview write-up. So you'll be able to, I'll be able to give you the answers for these write-ups, and you'll be able to turn them in. And on the write-ups, as you should know by now, the write-ups are always copy and pasted into the Dropbox, not as an attached file. So you're going to watch the presentation, then you're going to complete this write-up, include the questions and the answers for the numbers. And I said watch the course overview presentation, but really you're watching the course overview recording, which I'm doing right now. And I'm going to go ahead and change that. So you're going to watch the course overview recording. And then you'll answer questions as you're watching this recording, which you're doing now. So in Lesson 1, we don't know what an operating system is, and also I'll show you how you can figure out which operating system you have. Now bear with me a little bit, I have a little bit of a hay fever, so I might be sneezing quite a bit, sorry. Okay, so let's go right into the course overview presentation. So here we are. So this presentation is going to show how to move around in the course, how to find files and folders on your computer, how to set up your web browser, how to download and install the zip utility, how to complete coursework, and so forth. Now we're into Lesson 1, and this presentation has 4 lessons. So you look at what your computer must have for you to take the course, how to move through the course, different operating systems, etc. So looking at this, course requirements, you really don't need to worry about this. I think all of your computers should have Adobe Reader on them. If not, you can click right there to download it. As you move between pages, you'll use the back and forward arrows. Also, you have tables of contents. So if I click that, see, I can move down to Lesson 1, Lesson 2, Lesson 3, Lesson 4. So if I only go through the first 2 lessons on Monday, then I can pick up Lesson 3 on Tuesday. You just do it that way and not have to go through the whole lesson or the whole presentation. Which of the following are ways to move to different pages of the course? So answer that, see if you can get those right. Tab pages. So some pages of the course will have tabs, so you can see how you can click on the different tabs and different things will happen. Now here are some steps as you go through the presentations in the course. And again, this is like in section 1, there's going to be a presentation, section 2 a presentation, section 3, etc. What you'll do is you'll have information out here, and then you can navigate through that information here. So as I click at these, this is taking me step by step, and as I click these steps, then the stuff shows up over here on the right. So you can see this is telling me about the scroll bar, and I can also watch a demonstration. So if you check this out, if I scroll down here, see the bottom where it says watch a demonstration, click that, and this actually shows a demonstration of what it's doing. So I'll hit close. So that's how you're going to move throughout the presentations in each of the different sections of the course. Move through the presentations through the arrows mostly, and then you use these links on the left over here. Different hardware and software. Of course, you know what the hardware and software of computers are. And of course, the different software programs that you have. A little bit about software. And now we're getting the operating system. And the operating system is that software on your computer that manages all the hardware and software to make the computer run properly. It communicates between the different components of a computer. It's also called OS, like Apple OS or Windows OS, operating system. Now this course is set up to run Windows XP, but if you have Windows 7 or another version of Windows, we have some help files that can help you out as you go through the work. So again, using different operating systems. So if you're not using XP, then you can click here and you can look at instructions for Windows Vista, Windows 7, or even Mac. And I have in the announcements, I'll have files for Windows 7 and Windows XP on how to do that. But first thing you need to know is how to find your operating system. I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to click down to the Start button for Windows, and then I'll go to, so again at Start, Computer, and I right click on Computer, Properties, and you can see that my computer, mine is Windows 7. So that's how you can tell the version of Windows you have. So again, go down to the Start button, right click on Computer, Properties, and then I can see what version of Windows I have. So you want to figure out what version of Windows you have. Taskbars, of course, those are located at the bottom of your screen. That can help you move between programs. If you want to use multiple keys, you'll hold down the Control key and hit the letter Z, which will do certain things. So you can do a variety of things by using your Control and your Alt keys. Switch between windows, Alt-Tab. So if you have multiple windows open, Alt-Tab will get you going between different windows. So the summary, here's what we learned in Lesson 1, how to move through the course, different operating systems, etc. So now if I go back to the write-up, you can see that the write-up explaining what the operating system does. We talked about that, didn't we? And what operating system do you have? So find the operating system you have and then put the answer right in there. And of course, what you've done is you've taken all these questions and you copied them into the word processor and you're answering them as we go along. Okay, now we're going to get into Lesson 2. So I'll just hit the back arrow and get into Lesson 2. So now Lesson 2 is setting up your computer. I didn't do a good job of looking at the questions for Lesson 2. Why is it important to set your computer up to view file extensions? What is the name of the course folder and where is it located? So I need to keep those things in mind. Okay, to set up your computer, we talk about folders. Your files are kept in folders. And I think all of you understand, and hopefully you've been doing it, you set up folders for each of your courses. So you should set up a folder called Green Design. I have a folder called Block 4, and then in Block 4 I have my Audio Engineering, my Green Design, my Web Design. I have different folders for each of my classes. Now there's a different ways you can view folders. And you want to view folders, you want to view their extensions. in many ways, in many instances. So this is going to tell you how to change the folder view. So you go to Start, then you click My Computer, and then hit View, and then you can look at the list. So that's how you can view folders in Windows XP. Now in Windows 7, let's see how we can view folders. So I go to Start, Computer, Local Disk C. So now I'm on my local disk C. You can see that. Then right over here at the right, I can choose Details. And that's how I can look at different ways of viewing my folders. I can make them tiles. Look at the content of them. So that's how I do it in Windows 7. But they want me to be able to view the extensions. So let me see if I can figure that out. So go to Drive C. So right click Drive C. I think Properties is going to do it. Okay, 1 second here. Let's go back to lesson 1. I've forgotten how to view folders. 1 second here. So here's this document. So Windows 7. So to view file extensions. So the computer window, click Organize, then Folder. So let's see here. Okay, there's Organize, Folders and Search Options, View, and then right here I want to make sure Hide Extensions is not chosen. So if it was chosen, then I would take it off, then hit Apply. So this way it will show me the extensions. Then I'll hit OK. So again, that was under Organize, and then Folder and Search Options, View. So that's in Windows 7. Let's go back to our presentation. So that was file name extensions. So file name extensions, that's what we just looked at. You can see that whenever you view your folders, you want to be able to see if it's a doc, a PDF, a JPEG. And the reason these are important is so you know the type of file it is. So there's a special set of letters and numbers at the end showing what type of file it is. So that's why file extensions are important. That's why you want to be able to view those. Where do you find the file name extensions? At the end of the file name, right? Now to show the file name extensions, we just looked at that, didn't we? In Windows XP, you go to My Computer, then you click Tools, Folder Options. In Windows 7, I just showed you how you would do that. And if you need to look at it in another version, right here, Windows Vista, here's how to view file extensions. So we looked at file extensions, finding files in folders. Of course, just go to your C drive. That's the main hard drive for most computers is the C drive. Whoops. Most computers, C drive is the main hard drive, and the C drive is usually your main drive. You want to have, obviously, a main folder. So you want to do it, I recommend students put it on the desktop. So if you look at my computer, I'll go to Desktop, So here I'm in block 4, and you see I have auto engineering, computer fundamentals, green design. So I have folders for my work. And if I go to green design, then I have things in the green design folder. So you want to have those folders where you know they're located, so you can save your work and you don't have to search for it. So we did all this: finding files and folders, setting up your computer, making a course folder. Now if we go back to the write-up, number 2, why is it important that you set your computer to view file extensions? Well, it's important so you can see what types of files they are. And what is the name of your course folder? Where is it located? Well, that's up to you. You need to tell me. My course folder is called Green Design, and it's located in my Insight Block 4 folder on my desktop. So that would be my explanation. Okay, lesson 3. Explain what file compression does. What is the term for file compression? Do you need to download 7-zip, or does your computer do it automatically? Do you know how to zip files? Now in this course, we may not zip files, but it's good to know how to do that. And some of you, if you have classes with me like web design, you've zipped files before. But we're going to look at how to set up your browser, how to zip and unzip files, how to use a zipping utility. So web browser, of course, that's like Internet Explorer or Firefox or something like that. Now what you're going to do is change some browser settings. So depending on what you use, if you use Firefox, click here. If you use Internet Explorer, click here. So I'm going to click on here for Internet Explorer. And now this is going to have me change a few settings on my browser. So you need to do this, and really what it's having you do is you're going through and you're resetting some of the security and privacy tabs. Now you may not be able to, if you have an Insight computer, you might not be able to do all of that. So don't worry if you cannot do it, but see if you can. So you did that for Firefox or Internet Explorer, whichever computer you have, or whichever program you have. Now we're going to look at file compression. And you can see this little picture on the side that runs. Here's a 10 KB file, and it compresses down to 2 KB, so 1/5 the size. And what compression does is it makes the files smaller so that they can be sent over the internet. And when you do that, when you're compressing, that's called zipping. So you zip a file to compress it. So zipped file is a compressed file. It has been made smaller than the original, meaning that the size of it, like kilobytes or megabytes, is smaller than it was. Then once you zip it, you can see down here it has an actual picture of a zipper on the folder, so you know that it's zipped, that it's compressed. Then you can send it. Because if you don't zip folders, you cannot email them to people. Now in this class, again, you may not have to do it, but it might be something you have to do sometime. To unzip, that's where you take out zipped folders. You take the stuff out that's in it. Little practice there. What do you need to do before you can use a zip file? Well, you have to compress it. Oh, what do you need to do before you can use a zipped? Oh, before you use a zipped one, you have to unzip it before you can use a zipped one. Sorry. So choose your browser. Now this is going to talk about downloading a program called 7-zip. You can go through these steps, but you can also do this. I'm going to see if my computer has a zipping program on it. So I'm going to go into my folders, and let me find something. Here's my auto engineering folder. Let's say I want to zip that. So I'm on my folder, I right click, and I can go right here, send to compress zip folder. So I don't even need to have a zipping utility like 7-zip. So then I hit that, and watch what happens here. See, it's compressing that into a smaller folder. And see down here, I've already done it. I was practicing with this. You can see that it calls it audio engineering zip. So that has zipped it for me. I'm going to delete those because I don't need them. But again, what you want to do on your computer, find a folder, right click, see if it says send to compressed zip folder. If it does, then you do not need 7-zip. Now if you download 7-zip, then you might see send to 7-zip over here. And that'll be your zipping utility. So that's zipping a folder. Now there are times in your life when you might want to unzip. And look, well, I guess I'm going to have to zip this one. We'll just practice with this. I'm going to zip that, and then I'm going to just show you how it unzips. So now let's look. So that's zipping. So it's taken this one. If I right click, my original one was 60.7 megabytes. Let me look at this one, the zipped one, and see what this is. 48 megabytes. So it took it down by about 15% or 20% practically. So you can see what zipping does. So now let's say that I received this one called zip, and now I want to unzip it. I right click, extract all. And I'm just going to, I can extract it all right here, and I could call it practice extracting, and then I would just hit extract. And see, it's extracting it right here under a folder called resource practice. I'm going to hit cancel because I don't need to do that. And I'm going to delete that resource practice. But you can see I showed you how to zip a file folder, and then I showed you how to unzip a folder. And unzipping is called extracting. A little bit more on this. Let's move ahead here. Come on, computer. There we go. So now this tells you how to download 7-zip if you need it, but if your computer works like mine, you don't need to download and install 7-zip. If you do need to get 7-zip, then here's the steps to do it. How to zip, I showed you how to do that. You right click on it and zip. How to unzip, I showed you how to do that. That's called extracting. So summary, here are the 4 things we learned. Set up your web browser, zipping and unzipping, downloading and installing utility, and zipping and unzipping files and folders. So let's go to the write-up and see if I covered all the answers for lesson 3. Full explain what file compression is. I talked about that. You can find it again if you need it. What is the term used for a file that has been compressed? Well, it's been zipped, hasn't it? Now, do you need to download 7-zip, or does your computer allow zipping? Tell me, yes or no. Mine, I would say my computer allows zipping. Do you know how to zip files? Yes, I do know how to zip files, so I'd put the answer yes at the end of that. Okay, now we're getting to lesson 4. What are the 3 different types of graded work you'll have in each section? Explain what plagiarism is and give an example different from the one in the lesson. So let's go back to our presentation. So now we're jumping into lesson 4. This is the last lesson, so hang in there. And after you go through this, you'll have all the answers to the write-up, won't you? So lesson 4, we're going to look at sections, study questions, quizzes, etc., how to complete work, and different sources of information, plagiarism, and citations. So the different sections. Now you can see here how this is a sample course picture right here. Here's how your course is set up. The recording will be at the top. The write-up will be after that. Then you have your section, which is the course presentation or the lesson presentation, study questions, and I've, of course, provided quiz previews, etc. So if you look at this, there are 3 assignments for each section. There is the write-up. Actually, there are 4 assignments, but the write-up isn't really part of the course. So really, the 3 sections of work to be done. There's the study questions, the quiz, and the assignment for each section. So those are the 3 pieces of work that you have for each section. Is the study questions, the quiz, and the assignment for every section of the course. They're all set up the same way. So the study questions, you answer these as you're going through the presentation. So like right here, I would go into study questions for section 1. I'd go into study questions 1, and I do these just like the write-up. So I'd copy all these, paste them into a word processor. Then when I would watch the section 1 presentation, in this presentation I will read through it and go through it, and I'd find the answers to the study questions, and I would answer the study questions in my word processor. Then I'd copy and paste into the Word document. And then, of course, put all of that into the Dropbox. So that's how you do the study questions. You watch the course presentation. So let's go back to our course overview presentation. Excuse me. And of course, I'm going to hit the table of contents. And I'm going to go down to lesson 4, where we already talked about the different sections of the course. I just talked to you about the study questions. So you won't turn them in right away. You'll turn them in after you've gone through the whole section presentation. Then you turn in the study questions. And again, they're just text in the drop box. Quizzes, end of each section you'll take a quiz. And of course, there's a quiz study guide up here in the course home area, but I've also given you the quiz preview. So take advantage of those quiz previews, please. Assignments, at the end of each section you'll complete an assignment related to what you learned. So here's the assignment right here. And the assignments you'll also, actually the assignments, I think I'll have you turn those in as a document. So you copy and paste all the questions into a Word document, then you write through it, and it tells you the assignment to name it, and then you'll save it in your folder, your course folder, and then you'll submit it as an attachment on the assignments. If finding items in the course, this just talks about how to navigate within the course. Completing study questions, so just a little bit more. Now this tells you the study questions. I can't change this. This tells you to turn in a word processing document. On the study questions, just turn those in, as I said, as a text in the Dropbox. Now assignments, those you'll turn in as a word processor file. Okay, finding trustworthy information. Some of the things you need to think about. Who's the author? Make sure, go to the website, find the person's name, the organization they belong to. Also, you want to make sure that you know what is the purpose of the website. Is it a real website or not? How recent was it published? Is the information copyrighted? So those are some things about finding good information. Because in this class, you're going to do quite a bit of research to answer some of the assignment questions. So you want to make sure you have good websites to work from. Of course, Wikipedia, a lot of people say don't use it, but Wikipedia is turning out to be a pretty reliable source of information. Now, whenever you're using resources, you need to think about plagiarism. Of course, plagiarism is when one person represents someone else's work as their own. So if I find a picture on the internet and I put my name at the bottom of it like I took it, then that's dishonest. That's not allowed. That's plagiarism. Or if I copy an article and I copy and paste it like it says right here, turn it as my own work, that's plagiarism. So this is an example of plagiarism. There's a question in the write-up where I want you to come up with your own example of what plagiarism is. Now you can use information that somebody else has published, but you need to make sure that you say this was published by so-and-so. And that is called citing. And when you cite things, C-I-T-E for cite, you create a citation. And here's a common citation. The author's name, the title of the publication or the material, the media type, like where it came from, or there was the web or a print magazine or something, the date, and then of course the link where it came from. So whenever you cite something, this is what you need to provide. And you can see down here information on how something was cited. That's really important. So in summary, in lesson 4, we looked at sections, study questions, quizzes, assignments, complete the study questions, how to do it, trustworthy sources, plagiarism, citation. So let's go back to the course overview write-up. Make sure we answered section 4. What are the 3 types of graded work you have in each section? Well, you have, as I said, you have the study questions, the quiz, and the assignment. Now you do have the write-up, but we won't consider that part of it because I added that. So you have 3 different types. Explain what plagiarism is, give a different example than the one in the lesson. So you need to do that for question number 10. So that's everything for this write-up. Pretty easy one, isn't it? You knock this out in a half an hour and you're finished for this week. We're really easy to get into this class, aren't we? But next week, week 3, we're going to start with section 1. So for now, week 2, you're just doing this overview write-up because I want to make sure that everybody is in good shape as far as understanding what they need to do for the course. So that's all I have for you. I look forward to your course overview write-up coming in, and again, you're going to copy and paste it into word processor, do all the work, then just copy and paste that into the Dropbox. Do not attach a file. Thanks everyone. Bye.